Welcome to the Big D Breakdown. I'm your host, Larry Lease. Today's episode, we dive into the latest headlines from around AT&T Stadium. But first, a word from our sponsor. Today's episode is sponsored by Game Time. Life's too short for boring weekends. That's where Game Time comes in. Game Time is the go-to app for last-minute tickets to all your favorite events. Thrilling sporting games and captivating concerts to unforgettable theater performances. They've got it all covered. Get the best seats at the best price right at your fingertips instantly. No more waiting in lines. No more exorbitant ticket prices. So why wait? Experience the magic of the moment with Game Time. Live for the now. Game Time. Your ticket to a fantastic time. Use the link in the description and you can help support the channel when you buy your tickets to your next event. Before we dive into today's topics, we'd like to invite you to follow us on social media, including Facebook, Twitter, and on TikTok. Yeah, that's right. We are now on TikTok. Just search the Big D Breakdown. And of course, give us a thumbs up if you like our videos. So starting off, we're going to dive into 3 possible Tony Pollard replacements the Cowboys could sign in the 2024 free agency. Tony Pollard might be entering his final season with the Cowboys, and it's never too early to start looking at potential replacements. The Dallas Cowboys made the not-so-surprising decision to not extend Tony Pollard before Monday's deadline for franchise-tagged players. Perhaps the biggest surprise leading up to the deadline was when NFL Network's Jane Slater reported that the Cowboys and Pollard never had extensive talks on a new contract. That either means one of 2 things. Dallas never had concrete interest in investing more money into Pollard beyond 2022, or Pollard is happy making $10.09 million guaranteed coming off a serious injury and believes he's fully healthy and will cash in next offseason. Will that be with the Cowboys, though? The franchise tag opens the door for Pollard to leave as an unrestricted free agent next offseason. With that in mind, we're going to take a look at some early prospects Dallas could sign in free agency next March. Number 3, Devin Singletary. As somewhat of an unknown commodity, Singletary won't move the needle for some fans, but he compiled a solid season with Buffalo in 2022. While Singletary never cracked the 1,000-yard threshold in 4 years, he's always been efficient with his touches, averaging 4.7 yards per carry in his career. Singletary totaled 870 and 819 rushing yards, respectively, over the last 2 seasons. That's impressive when you consider Josh Allen is used as the Bills' top rusher. Last year, Singletary fended off promising rookie James Cook, whom many analysts predicted to supplant Singletary as the lead back. At 5'7" and 203 pounds, Singletary is undersized for the position, but he runs bigger than his size, which catches defenders off guard. The Cowboys would need a complementary back behind Singletary, but he'd be a sneaky good option to replace Pollard. Number 2, DeAndre Swift. Stealing Swift from the Eagles makes him even more attractive option, but he profiles similar to Pollard in terms of explosiveness and ability to double as a pass catcher and make defenders miss in the open field. The only caveat with Swift is his durability, which is ultimately what prompted Detroit to ship him to Philly for a 2023 7th-round pick and a 4th-round pick in 2025. For context, Swift has played 40 of a possible 50 games over his first 3 years. He's missed at least 3 games in every season, which is a shame because he's been efficient when healthy, averaging 4.6 yards per carry in his career, including 5.5 yards per carry in 2022, which was ultimately slowed by a high ankle sprain. It is easy to label Swift an injury-prone player, but the Lions did him 0 favors with their injury management last season. The relationship seemingly soured by the end of the season, and he lands in a great spot in the Eagles' run-centric offense to ink a multi-year contract next offseason. Swift was the number 35 overall pick 3 years ago for a reason. He's an exciting young running back who'd look better with a star on his helmet than a set of wings. Number 1, Damien Harris. Look, you're not just going to find many free agents who've had a clean bill of health since they entered the NFL. Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs, Joe Mixon, and Austin Eckler headlined the 2024 class. and all four have stayed relatively healthy in their careers. That said, each of them will have significant mileage on their tires for their age and will likely command top-of-the-market money. Assuming the Cowboys learn from their mistake of paying running backs big money, Harris could fit right into their budget. The former Patriots draft pick has long been underrated, and he'd finally have a chance to shine in a high-level offense after he left New England for the rival Bills as a free agent this offseason. Harris is yet to play a full season, so 2023 will determine how much interest he'll gauge on the market and how much teams are willing to pay for his service. If he gets through the year healthy, though, you're talking about a back who's tallied 4.7 yards per carry in his career and averaged over 3 yards after contact per attempt in his career to go with about 40 forced missed tackles and close to 20 explosive runs per season. The Cowboys could do a lot worse than Harris if Pollard leaves. So let us know your comments in the comments section below. Is there a free agent the Cowboys should pick up in 2024? Let us know. And now we're going to dive into 3 contract decisions that haunt the Dallas Cowboys. Overall, the Dallas Cowboys front office has done a decent job of building their roster in recent years. They've avoided signing overpriced free agents and have done well in the NFL draft. That doesn't mean they're without fault. And we can see the way they've overpaid in-house players such as Ezekiel Elliott as an example. While we won't be looking at that deal since it's now in the past, here are 3 contract decisions that could come back to haunt the Cowboys. Number 3, restructuring rather than extending Dak Prescott. The Cowboys never learn when it comes to shooting themselves in the foot. Right after seeing DeMarcus Lawrence's value increase when they played hardball, the Jones family decided to play hardball with Prescott. They balked at a contract rumored to be $32 million per season in 2020, and instead paid $31 million on the franchise tag. They tagged him again in 2021 before finally signing him to a deal worth $40 million per season. That means they cost themselves $8 million per season by waiting to pay the man they knew was the franchise quarterback. In 2023, they again, proving they haven't learned. Prescott enters the year with just 2 seasons left on his deal, and Dallas turned to him for cap relief. But instead of working out an extension, they restructured his contract, and he will now count for $59 million in 2024. Yes, they can extend him before next season and lower the cap hit, but they will again have to pay a lot more. Right now, quarterbacks are signing for roughly $45 million per season, but that will increase in a hurry, especially with Justin Herbert and the Chargers discussing a new deal. This means Dallas is likely going to see Prescott command closer to $50 million, especially if he has a bounce-back year in 2023. They had some leverage entering the offseason, but they ended up giving it all to him. However, I don't think he should, even if he has a bounce-back year, if he doesn't make the playoffs, at least a wild card spot, or no, scratch that. If he doesn't make the divisional round appearance in the playoffs, then he doesn't deserve that anything close to $50 million. But that's just my thought. Let us know in the comments section below. What do you think about how much Dak Prescott is really worth? Number 2, the Cowboys kept Tyron Smith around. This offseason, the Cowboys moved on from Zeke, which was the right move. They then reworked Tyron Smith's contract, which was the wrong move. Had they cut Smith, they could have saved anywhere from $9.5 million pre-June 1st to $13.6 million post the June 1st cut. Instead, they decided to make a move to keep him around for one more season. This new contract lowered his cap hit in 2023, and he can then hit the open market. This deal might be more cap-friendly for 2023, but the problem is what happens after that. Despite hitting free agency in 2024, Smith will still count for $6 million against the cap, as well as another $1 million in 2025. While it's true that the NFL is loaded with teams making use of the void years and contracts, they typically do this for a player they believe will make a huge impact on the field. When it comes to Smith, expecting that is rather optimistic. This has nothing to do with Smith's talent. The former USC Trojan is one of the best offensive tackles in the NFL, but he's also one of the least durable. Smith missed 13 games last year, 6 in 2021, 14 in 2020, and 3 in each season from 2016 through 2022. That means since the 2016 campaign, he's missed 45 games, nearly 3 full years of worth of play. Now, heading into the year, Dallas is expected to pay a guy for the next 3 years who they haven't been able to count on. Number 1, Michael Gallup's contract was never a wise move. 2022 was a frustrating offseason to sit through. Due to the enormous cap hit Ezekiel Elliott had, the Cowboys elected to trade Amari Cooper for practically nothing. What really made that move infuriating was the fact it didn't have to happen. Dallas took a $6 million hit to trade Cooper, so they practically had to pay $6 million not to have him. Then they went out and signed Michael Gallup to a 5-year deal worth $57 million. They also hit Dalton Schultz with the franchise tag, which was roughly $10 million. So Dallas said they needed to make these moves in order to keep their offense together, and in the end, they didn't do that. Schultz is out this season, and while Gallup remained, he hasn't been close to the same player. Last year, Gallup had just 39 receptions and 74 targets, with 424 yards and 4 touchdowns. His performance was so worrisome that they had to go out and trade for Brandon Cooks. True that Cooks is an upgrade, but they made a terrible decision to move on from a durable veteran in favor of a player coming off a serious knee injury. Add to it the fact that Dallas can't move on from this deal with ease until 2025, and it makes this investment even worse, unless he suddenly returns to form. But let us know in the comments section below, did we miss something that you consider in regards to a contract decision that could haunt the Cowboys? Let us know. Of course, give us a thumbs up if you like our video, subscribe to the channel, the bell notification button to be notified of future videos. And now on to our next topic. We're going to dive into 3 things to watch for during the Dallas Cowboys training camp. Cowboys training camp is starting next week, and there are 3 storylines to watch for Dallas as they head to Oxnard to prepare for the upcoming season. Starting off, does Dak Prescott take a leap? When discussing the Cowboys, it has to start at the top with Dak Prescott. It came out earlier in the month that the league-wide feeling is Dak is securely inside the top 10 quarterbacks in the league. While the show of respect is a nice acknowledgement, Cowboys Nation, and surely Dak himself, understand it ultimately doesn't mean much if it doesn't come with playoff success. We have seen Dak look great at times, and while the pros vastly outweigh the cons when it comes to the quarterback, we are looking for the combination of talent and mistake-free football on the offensive side of the ball that can live in harmony together for this Cowboys offense. Dak would be the first to tell you as a leader that he needs to be better, but film study and even just your eyes tell you that that scheme and help around him has let him and this group down at times. Dak is certainly not blameless in this, and that's why we lead off with his play being the biggest storyline we will be monitoring at the start of camp. With an emphasis on adding more offensive talent and a new offensive staff calling the plays, there is intrigue and a belief that Dak and this offense will be much cleaner and be more consistently efficient in their pursuit of finally getting over the divisional round hump. Offensive line configuration and health. We know who the best 5 are on the Cowboys offensive line, but what we don't know is the health of some and where a couple of them will end up lining up as a result. It's easy to identify that Tyron Smith, Tyler Smith, Tyler B., Zach Martin, and Terrence Steele are the 5 men for the job. But what is up in the air is the health of Steele and just what impact that will have on the group as a whole heading into camp. The Cowboys have talent, and there is some hope that this could be a good group. There are many variables at the position as we approach this season. While Tyler Smith will line up, or I should say where Tyler Smith will line up, is a main point of focus as all of this gets sorted out. Some feel he should be kept at left tackle no matter what, putting Tyron either on the right side or on the bench. But should the Cowboys leave a future Hall of Fame left tackle on the bench if healthy? Some feel as if Tyler should just be penciled in at left guard, securing the interior of the group, at least for 2023. There is a lot to be sorted out, and most of it is going to fall after we know the status of Steele and his availability. And of course, probably one of the biggest questions of camp is who's going to be the team's kicker. Brandon Aubrey and Tristan Vizcano have the opportunity of a lifetime in front of them as they battle it out to be the kicker of the Dallas Cowboys. Despite the two of them in line to duke it out, the feeling around the team is that the biggest question mark on the Cowboys roster may still very well be at the kicker position. Neither guy on the roster right now has much of a pedigree, and there's some understood skepticism at the spot heading into camp, especially with some veterans such as Mason Crosby and Robbie Gould still out there unsigned. We have seen what shaky kicker play has looked like in the past, and with a team as loaded as this one, it would be heartbreaking to have the season cut short by poor special teams play. Much like last season, just because these two are here now does not mean that they will be the guys on week one, and they will need to approach every day like their jobs are on the line while they have the chance. Let us know your comments in the comment section below. Is there a discussion we missed having or a topic we missed? Let us know and give us your thoughts on the topics we covered. And of course, if you want to support the channel, you can go ahead and buy us coffee at buymeacoffee.com/thebigd. As always, give us a thumbs up if you like our video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button to be notified of future videos, and follow us on Good Pods or anywhere you get your podcasts from. As always, thank you so much for watching and listening. We will see you next time.